On Monday, I told you why your testosterone may be dropping, not just because of age, but because of chronic recovery debt, too much failure training, too much volume, too much stress, not enough sleep. Well, today I'm going to give you 3 changes that help fix that. These are actual shifts I made at 56 that help me recover better, maintain muscle, and support a healthy testosterone while preparing for natural bodybuilding competition. No supplements, no hacks, just what works. Now, before we get into the 3 changes, I want to be precise about the language. I am not here to tell you these changes will boost testosterone. That word belongs on supplement labels. What these changes do is remove the training stress that may be suppressing your testosterone in the first place. When you stop doing the damage, the system can begin correcting itself. Think of it this way. If you had a leak in a pipe and the water pressure was dropping, you wouldn't pump in more water, you'd fix the leak. Your training may be the leak, and these changes may help seal it. Here's why I'm qualified to talk about this. I'm 56, I still compete in natural bodybuilding, I monitor my recovery closely, I track my training, I track my performance, and here's something that surprises most people. Right now, preparing for a natural bodybuilding world championship, my training volume is actually lower than it has been in the past. Fewer exercises, fewer sets, better recovery, and better performance. Because the goal isn't to see how much work I can survive. Been there, done that, let me tell you. The goal is to create the adaptation that I'm looking for. The training principles I'm about to show you aren't theories. They're decisions I make every week. I'm not guessing, I'm living them. Change number 1, stop training to failure. Now, I covered this in detail last month, and we're going to put the link in the description. But it's on this list because removing the unnecessary failure training is one of the fastest ways to reduce the recovery debt. Now, many men spend every workout trying to prove how hard they can train. But your body doesn't reward effort, it rewards recovery. The harder you push without recovering, the deeper the debt becomes. The implementation here is actually quite simple. Leave 2 or 3 reps in reserve on your first working sets. Leave 1 rep in reserve on your final set. Every exercise in every session. Now, your ego may not like it, but your recovery will, and that's the point. Change number 2. Match your training volume to your recovery capacity. This is where many men get it wrong. They assume more is always better. More sets, more exercises, more days, more work. But volume isn't the goal. Progress is the goal. One thing I've done for years is log every workout, every exercise, every set, every rep. Because if you're not tracking, you're guessing. And when recovery starts slipping, the logbook usually shows, yeah, it sure does, usually shows it before your body does. Performance stalls, recovery slows, motivation drops, and the weights stop moving. That's information. And when I evaluate what needs to change, sometimes it's volume, sometimes it's intensity, sometimes it's sleep, sometimes it's life stress. Right now, preparing for a bodybuilding world championship, I'm actually doing fewer exercises and fewer sets than I've done in previous seasons. Why? Because my goal isn't to do more work. My goal is to maintain muscle, shape, and quality while recovering from the work I'm doing. Recovery tells me whether that's happening. Performance tells me whether that's happening. The answer isn't automatically less volume. The answer is the amount of volume that moves you toward your goal while still allowing you to recover. So if you're progressing, recovering well, sleeping well, and your joints feel good, keep going. If you're not, your body is giving you feedback. Listen to it. The logbook tells the truth. If this is making sense to you, take a minute and subscribe. What I'm describing took me years to understand. The men who learn it early are the ones who are still training, still capable, and still showing up at 60, 65, 70, and even beyond. The 3 C's framework in the description is how you can make these changes permanent. Not a reset, a structure. Change number 3. Treat sleep like part of your training program, not an afterthought. A huge amount of your recovery happens while you sleep. If you're consistently getting 5 or 6 hours a night, you're putting yourself behind before the day even starts. You cannot out-train poor sleep. You cannot out-supplement poor sleep. You cannot outwork poor sleep. Sleep is where recovery happens, and everything else supports it. The target after 50 is really 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. Not time in bed, but actual quality sleep. And one more thing, I track my sleep the same way I track my workouts. Every night, the bedtime. When I wake up, what time did I wake up? What were my total hours of sleep? And why do I do that? Well, because what gets measured gets managed, and that simple habit for me has really been one of the biggest reasons that I am consistently averaging more than 7 hours of sleep most nights of the week. Now, if you're not tracking it, it's easy to think you're sleeping enough when you're actually not. And here's what it looks like in practice. Just go to bed at roughly the same time every night and wake up at roughly the same time every morning. Avoid training right before bed and keep your room cool, and stop treating sleep like something you'll catch up on later, because later rarely comes. And here's the part nobody talks about. The men who get 5 hours of sleep and then grind through failure sets are not tough. They're systematically destroying their recovery and calling it discipline. It's not discipline, it's debt. So here's exactly what this looks like. 3 weeks, 3 adjustments. Week 1, stop every working set with reps still in reserve. Track how you feel 48 hours later. Week 2, review your logbook and evaluate your recovery. Evaluate your performance and adjust volume if necessary, and maintain that approach of not going straight to failure from week 1. Then week 3, lock in your sleep schedule. 7 to 8 hours, consistent bedtime, consistent wake time. And at the end of 3 weeks, pay attention. How do you feel when you wake up? How do you feel walking into the gym? How do your joints feel? How does your motivation? How is your performance? Because the shift is that your recovery finally catching up to your training. And that's the change. It's not a hack. Tell me in the comments what changed, because it will. This isn't really about testosterone. Testosterone is just the signal. What we're actually talking about is energy, motivation, patience, confidence, and your ability to show up fully for the people who matter most. Your spouse, your kids, your grandkids, the people that are counting on you. That's what's really on the line. And the answer isn't another supplement. The answer isn't another miracle protocol. The answer is learning how to recover as seriously as you train. And that's exactly why I created the 3 C's framework. Create a compelling future, commit to that future, collaborate to accomplish that future. The link is below. It's totally free. I'm BJ, reminding you age is just a number. But your recovery responds to what you do, not how old you are. Train smart, recover hard, and keep punching.